Hi folks, welcome back to another video on the Emporium. So today we have got Lord of the Rings, the Fellowship of the Ring, the battle in Balin's tomb. Okay, so a little bit of history about this one. I have been a tabletop miniature and board gamer now for 23 years, I think, if not a little bit longer. And my journey into tabletop miniature wargaming began with Lord of the Rings and some of the pieces that are actually in this box. So, at the time, Millennium, I watched the Lord of the Rings movies, Peter Jackson's movies, absolutely loved them, got right into Lord of the Rings. A group of guys I worked with at the time said to me, we've got this game we play on a Friday night, a few beers, bit of pizza, Lord of the Rings, 6x4 tabletop, mass armies. I was in. What's not to love if you're a Lord of the Rings fan? So, anyway, I went along, had these couple of nights with the guys, absolutely loved it, and I said to them, I'm in, I'm hooked, where do I start? And at the time, we had a starter set. Well, Games Workshop had a starter set, and it was the Balin's Tomb starter set. So it was basically the famous scene in Balin's Tomb from the Fellowship of the Ring, where the Fellowship are trapped and the Moria goblins and the cave troll are coming in, and you know there's a big ding dong. So at the three films, that's my favourite set piece from the Fellowship. I adore Balin's Tomb, everything about it, the action sequences, everything. So the lads had me. So I went out, bought this set, and it had the 9 members of the Fellowship, the cave troll, and 18 goblins, I think, various bits of scenery, and it was all set around scenarios leading up to the big bang in the tomb, you know. So I absolutely love this because the footprint was something like 3 foot by 3 foot instead of sort of 6 foot by 4 foot. So I could play it on my kitchen table. I could play it like, you know, with my other half, with like my friends who were non-gamers, etc. And everyone knew Balin's tomb. So let's fast forward 20 odd years, you know, like in a blink of an eye, like it does in real life. And I was just flicking around YouTube and I just saw something randomly, the way we all do. And it was this game. So what they've actually done, Games Workshop have gone away and they've converted that principle into a board game. So we're still using the same miniatures. We're still using the same environment. We haven't got the scenery. So we've got all the goblins, all the Fellowship. So your Gandalf's there, Frodo, Aragorn, Boromir, Legolas, Gimli. You know, they're all there from that famous scene. So this is age 12 plus. It plays within 30 to 45 minutes and it is for 2 players. So one side is the goblins and the troll coming in and overwhelming the Fellowship. The other side is the Fellowship trying to survive. You go over 12 turns in the game. I think the Fellowship win if Frodo Baggins is alive and there's more than 3 of them. The game's a draw if there's 3 members of the Fellowship alive and Frodo has perished. Any other scenario, the troll and the goblins win. Okay, so straight away, there we go. Absolutely lovely box. We see Aragorn in a still from the film on the front. And then we have the back. Okay, so it just shows us what the game looks like, the game board and the miniatures. Now, you can paint these miniatures if you so wish. I don't need to because, like I say, I've got the Fellowship and all the goblins and the troll and all the scenery all painted up in a box somewhere. So I'm going to basically put this board down and I'm going to put all my stuff on top. There will be a gameplay video sometime later in the year of this because I do want to show those minis off and show how this game works. Okay, so brief intro and then we'll open the box. Okay, so in their quest to destroy the One Ring, the Fellowship have journeyed into the depths of Moria. Yet as they venture through the darkness, they disturb the slumbering evil that dwells in the fell heart of the mountain. Barricading themselves within the ruins of Balin's tomb, the Fellowship must fend off the onslaught of Moria goblins and a mighty cave troll if they are to survive. Will you choose to take control of the Fellowship and fight for the protection of Frodo Baggins, or command the goblin hordes and try to overwhelm the Fellowship and bring it to its knees? The fate of the ring bearer is in your hands. Okay, so we get a rules book and a divider, 13 character cards, which is nice. I'll go into them in a minute when I open the box. A game board, the Fellowship and a turn counter, 12 Moria goblins, a cave troll, 3 blue Fellowship dice, 2 red goblin dice and 1 grey cave troll dice. 20 goblin cards to make up the goblin deck and 20 wound counters, and of course we get 22 lovely Citadel miniatures, which you can see there. Mine are painted like that, but obviously not as good as that. So let's try and find our way into the box. So apparently as well, Games Workshop have stopped putting cellophane around some of the new boxes and they're actually just sealing them with these little round stickers. I don't know what that's about. But hey ho, there we go. I digress and I am waffling. So there we go. One more shot at lovely box art and we get straight in. Okay, so straight away, opening it up. There's no mess in here, is there? We get straight onto the Cave Troll sprue. So again, these are push fit. I would recommend though that you clip them with proper gaming clippers and actually glue them. What's nice for the troll is you can have like the chain weapon here, or you can choose the axe. I'm going to give him the chain because it's like what the movie is, but that's just me. You could do either yourself. And then we have our sprues of the Fellowship. There we go. So I'll show you there. You should just recognise some of them from there. It's obviously Legolas here. We've got a ring counter. There's our hobbits. Okay, and spinning over, we've got Gimli and we've got Gandalf. Okay, so they're very, very nice. And our goblins, we have 4 with bows, 4 with spears and 4 with shields. Of note, the guys with shields are harder to kill, so if you are playing the game, you might want to go and get them instead. So there's our archer here. Here's a spear. And there's a shield guy. There's his little shield there. So that's just a repeat sprue. And then we have a nice little divider here, which also serves to show us the principle I was just telling you about there, how we put together our models. Okay. Then we have some character cards, which I will open in a minute. We have some specialist dice, which have got different symbols on. So you see the blue there with the shield and the ring and the swords. The goblins there with the shield and let's see, little sword on there. And the cave troll has an extra dice as well with different shields and different bits and bobs. We get all the bases for the models, and then we get a pack here which has got the game board and some tokens by the look of it. And a spare baggie, which is always nice. I always say this in unboxings. Okay, let's get this open, then we'll have a look at those character cards. Okay, oh shit. You didn't hear me say that then, did you? I thought you just sliced part of the board. Oh, okay, let's have a look. So slide 4-letter words aside under my breath, let's get on with it. Okay, so this is nice. So we've got a booklet that tells us all about it and how we set up the board. There we go. How we play the game and the turns. Explain combat and stuff. Line of sight, what you can see. And then we just have a little bit on the back, showing just like a little showcase of how you can paint up your models if you so wish. And how we win, how we lose, all the different bits and bobs there. So what immediately strikes me with this is it is 8 pages, including both covers, long. That's what you want, isn't it? That's what you want. Okay, so get these cards open and see if they open a little bit easier without any expletives. Yes, they do. Okay, fair enough. Put that on the floor there. So how we actually play it, tell you what, let me show you the board first. Let's have a look at the board together, and then I'll explain what I know of the game, having watched playthroughs. Okay, so there is your board. Okay, so across the top, you'll notice 1 to 12, that is the turn. So we put our little ring on there and we move along. Now, on turn 1, the goblins get no reinforcements, which I'll explain in a minute. Turns 2 up to, I think it's turn 9, you get 2 goblin cards, action cards, and 10, 11 and 12, I think you get 3. Okay, so you can see the board there. Now, of interest, if you have a look down here, I'll try my best to get that up close to you. It actually tells you where to actually place the figures, which is nice. You see some red lines on there. They are basically line of sight blockers, so you can't walk through them or fire through them. You see there where the pillars are in the top corner here. Okay, and the map is lovely. It's actually divided into squares. You need to have a look carefully. You can see sort of the 4 little dots. So you see the squares superimposed over them there, see? There. So the actual game itself would be played in inches if you were going to be moving. So the original game I was telling you about, you'd move in inches, you'd have like a ruler, you'd move in inches and you'd move your figure, then you shoot, then you have combat, all that. These cards actually resolve that. So I'm just flicking through so I can... There we go. So I'm going to take Boromir as an example. Okay, so if you have a look there, it says he moves 6. Okay, so he just moves 6 squares. You're not moving inches or messing about. Okay, attack, defend, and wounds. So he rolls 2 attack dice and he's looking for swords. He rolls 3 defense dice and he's looking for shields, and he has 3 wounds. Okay, so the enemy needs to do 3 points of damage to him. And every character has a special ability. Anyone who's seen the films, I'm sure loads of you have. Boromir is basically a defender of the party. He's like a general of the armies of Gondor. So his thing is, if you're adjacent to him in the next square, you can re-roll your defense dice. So every character has like a little thing like that. So we've simplified it. We're moving so many squares. This is how many dice you need to roll. This is what you need. There's your special ability. Boom. Off you go. Okay, so every character has their own there. So Gimli's like a little bit harder. Legolas is your archer. Aragorn is your all-round, hero. And then looking at the cave troll. Okay, so he attacks. He has a move of 6 as well. Okay, he attacks with 2 red dice. He defends with 2 red dice, but he has a grey dice as well, which basically makes him tougher to kill. He's a cave troll. You can smack a goblin in the face and kill it. You're not going to smack a cave troll in the face and kill it. He's got 5 wounds as well. Okay. So, and his ability, the cave troll may attack enemies up to 3 squares away. If the enemy is in an adjacent square, the cave troll uses 3 dice instead of 2. So basically, if he's up close and in your face, he's smashing you hard. If he's further away, he's swinging axes and hammers and chains, and he's trying to get you. And again, the goblins are like that little bit weaker. So how it works is you've got your goblin force there, and you'll start off with like so many at the start of the scenario, and then every turn it's like a meat grind. You're throwing the goblins into the fellowship. The fellowship are hopefully for them beating them up, and trying to thin out the numbers. However, as the game goes on and as the scene in the film goes on, we get more and more and more goblins. So these are like, that's identified by letting you bring more goblins on every turn. Okay, so I'm not going to show you all these cards. I hate revealing all cards to people, but one of them you might pull. So start your turn. I'm the fellowship. I've moved, done all whatever. I've beat all your goblins up, maybe. Your goblins have got a couple of wounds on me. We go on to the next turn. You draw the card and it says Goblin Ambush. The goblin player places any 1 Moria goblin next to each of the trapdoors. Okay, so you see what's happening here now. The goblins are just coming in the main entrance. They're appearing in trapdoors, underwells, all that kind of thing. There you go. They are coming. The goblin player places any 2 Moria goblins in the entrance to Balin's tomb, and any 1 Moria next to the well. So again, I keep referencing it. Anyone who's seen the film will know what they're about. Goblin reinforcements. We cannot get out, and like you're placing goblins in different places. There, next to the well, next to the trapdoor, and in the doorway. Drums in the deep. The goblin player places any 2 Moria goblins next to the well. And there is one that brings the cave troll in as well. There we go. They have a cave troll. A famous line with the Boromir. He just looks and rolls his eyes and goes, they have a cave troll. Indeed they do, or they did. The goblin player places the cave troll on its starting square. Okay, so what happens? This goes on over 12 rounds. Okay, the goblin player basically throws his army towards the fellowship. The fellowship try and survive. We go on 12 rounds. Fellowship protect Frodo. They win. Frodo perishes, but there's 3 members of the Fellowship left. They draw. Any other result, the goblins overrun them, and it's game over. Okay, so that is basically Balin's Tomb in a nutshell, folks. There is a little pack of tokens as well, which I have just dropped. I just realised. It wasn't even worth the bending down. They're just like little wands on them. They're basically wound tokens that you put on the player cards. So yeah, that is my little guide and my little unboxing and my little bit of gaming history there of the Lord of the Rings Fellowship of the Ring battle in Balin's Tomb. Okay, guys, so comments below. Have you got this? Are you interested in this? Would you like to play this? Did you play first time round in the starter box like myself? Have you ever played the Games Workshop product before? Are you like me, 20 odd years in? All the good stuff below, and I'll see you next time.